M-Dog Gaming.
Welcome, this is M-Dog, and we are playing some Hearthstone Arena. First off, I want to say I've had a couple of friend invites. If that is from people that are watching my videos, I do appreciate the friend invites. I think there's a bug or something right now with the game. I'm not able to accept the friend invite, so since it's tied to battle.net, I'll attempt to go into another Blizzard game, WoW or something, and try to actually see if I can accept those friend invites. They've come within the last 24 or so hours of today, which is Sunday, November 3rd. Anyway, just want to throw that out there. So we're going to go Shaman here, I believe. I've had a lot of some good Shaman performances lately. Just earlier today when I was on my laptop away from home, so I wasn't able to record it, I had a 9-1 Shaman deck. It had 4 fire elementals, so it was not just because of that, it was just a really good deck. But Warrior and Hunter are both pretty interesting, but
Doomhammer.
really kind of enjoying playing with some of the Shaman totems and other class cards here recently. So this is an interesting first choice. I'm not really crazy on the Ravenholt Assassin because of how expensive it is. It does do good damage for being a stealth card. It's probably going to get one hit in, so in that sense it's not bad. I just think it's so pricey this early. I'm going to be hopeful that there's going to be some bombs later on that will be better choices. I don't usually play with Mana Tide Totem in Arena, but I certainly think you could work it in. Light Warden is a good one drop, honestly. It's got enough health that it's mage proof. It's not going to get dinged by the hero ability at least. So with 2 health you expect it to last 1 turn. And if you put it out there with something, I think that's a good little card, to be honest. It's going to give 1+2 attack when a character is healed. The problem is, playing a Shaman deck, we just don't know when that healing's going to happen. Yeah, if we have a healing totem it does, and that could be deadly, honestly, but because that's going to potentially happen every turn without us having to spend mana on it. But again, that is very situational. I think for this, we're going to start with Mana Tide Totem and know we get some card draw. This, at the end of your turn, you draw a card, so as long as you can keep it alive, play it behind a taunt or whatnot, you're going to get some good card draw, and card draw equals victory as long as you've been able to pick some good cards. So here, Frosty is he's okay. He's alright. Earthshock's decent. It's a silence, but I don't know. I think we'll end up with Spellbreaker or an Owl at some point in this draft. So I think we're going to go Blood Cell Raider. Sure, this is even better if we end up with a weapon, but even as an actual 2-drop, it's not bad. A lot of times I prefer the 3/2s that are 2-drops, but you know, sometimes a 2/3 is just what you need. Maybe they've got a 2/1 1 down, you know, like the Murloc with charge, and if you put your 3/2 down, then they're going to trade up. They're going to not only have possibly already attacked you with that, but then they're going to attack your 3/2 2-drop, and they're going to trade their 1 for your 2, which is terrible. So sometimes this is just the kind of 2 you want to play. Alright, and here, all things being equal, I'll go Rockbiter. Frost Shock is okay, gotten some good use out of it, but Rockbiter is almost always good, whether you attach it to you or a minion. It's really good, good removal. This is an easy choice. Initially, I was really drawn to the Windspeaker playing Shaman, and at one point may have even chosen that over a Fire Elemental, but I've learned my lessons, and it's honestly hard to beat Fire Elemental. I'm not sure that there are many class minions that are better than Fire Elemental. Right now I might rank it number 1. I'd really have to look at it, and I haven't done that, but just off the top of my head, I'm not sure you get much stronger in terms of a class minion than Fire Elemental. It's a 6/5, and it does 3 damage when you drop it. So it's already right there where you want it to be, pretty much, for a 6-drop. Plus with this Battle Cry effect, it's almost always 2 for 1. I mean, there's usually something on the board that 3 damage is going to kill in that mid to late game, in Arena especially. And then you've also got a 6/5 that's no fun to deal with. So we just got a 6-drop. Not necessarily this early needing to come back with a Boulder Fist Ogre pick. Argent Squire is okay. You know, the Argent Squire it's not a terrible 1-drop. I mean, it comes with the Divine Shield, so again, it survives, you know, being put down there on turn 1, and turn 2, if the mage doesn't have anything to play, then all it can do is take off its Divine Shield. But really, what are you getting? You're getting a 1 attack. I think there are better 1-drops. Obviously, like the Leper Gnome. I'm going to take Leper Gnome over Argent Squire. Leper Gnome's going to do 2 damage. Even if it doesn't ever attack anything, it's going to do 2 damage to the hero. Argent Squire, I mean, I can't imagine a scenario where you would get more than 2 damage with the Argent Squire to the hero. And it's not going to trade that great because it's doing 1 damage. So, I don't know. I think it's okay, but I think there are much better 1-drops. So we're going to go Cultmaster here. Now, I have, you know, a lot of people, you know, if you watch streamers, especially people like Trump, he emphasizes Cultmaster a lot, and I'm sure there's a reason. I'm sure, way smarter than I am, and obviously is better at this game and more experienced. I kind of got caught up in that, and for a while there was choosing just Cultmasters no matter what. I've since toned that down a bit. I mean, I think in this case it's the right pick. It's our first 4-drop. It's a second ability to draw cards, which is so important. But I do think, at least at this point, where I'm at, I don't value it quite as high as I once did when I was sort of being more influenced directly by other people. Still a good card though. Nightblade, not very good, below average for sure. If the battle cry was deal 3 damage, you know, and that was it, so you could choose where the damage went, different story. Deal 3 damage to the enemy hero, that's okay. It's not that good. I don't like Wind Fury at all, the card Wind Fury, that is. And I like Frostwolf Warlord a good bit. It's our first 5-drop. I think that's a pretty easy choice. Okay, don't want a 1-2 taunt, necessarily. I mean, it's not a complete throwaway. If you end up with it, if that's the best choice, that's fine. Thrallmore, in my estimation, is okay. 2-3 with Wind Fury. I mean, he can do some work. I don't mind him. I think there are better 3-drops, but he's okay. In this case, I actually will go Windspeaker. Okay, so let's talk about Windspeaker. 4 mana cost, and you're only getting a 3-3. Well, there are 3s that are 3-3s or better. But the battle cry is you're going to give a friendly minion Wind Fury. So, if, let's just say we play this the turn after we play Frostwolf Warlord. So, and we're wanting to trade something with Frostwolf. We can actually go to the face for 4 damage, or however much damage based on how many minions were on the battlefield when we put Frostwolf down, and then trade. So it gives you an opportunity there to do some damage and trade up with a different minion. Hopefully taking out a minion and keeping this on the board for the next turn as well. So Windspeaker, the Wind Fury that it gives to a friendly minion is valuable. I don't think it's a must-pick Shaman card, but given the choices here, I'm comfortable with going Windspeaker. Okay, this is going to be the first pick that I think is actually really difficult. And I would lean towards Silverhand Knight, and that's what we're going to go with because we're still early in the draft. But you cannot overvalue, in my estimation, Silence. And so if we end up going through the rest of this draft without a Spellbreaker, which is the 4 mana card that gives you Silence, or an Ironbeak Owl, I will probably regret this choice. But that's just how much I like Silverhand Knight as a 5-drop. I really like to have it out. Okay, so we passed on Light Warden once. Ancestral Spirit. If you watched my last Shaman video, I talked a little bit about this spell. You can definitely get some good things going on with Ancestral Spirit. You know, if you throw it on a Fire Elemental or a strong Frostwolf Warlord, then you've got it coming back. Even after it dies, it's returning to the battlefield. That's really strong. Questing Adventure is one of those cards. Obviously, just vanilla test. No, it's terrible. It's a 3/2/2. But if you can play it and you've got some other cheap cards to play on top of it, or if it survives a turn because of a taunt or whatever other reason, then yes, this can get out of hand. It's one of those cards that will win you the game or completely turn things in your favor if you're able to play it at a strategic moment. So for me, this choice is between these two cards, and we're going to go with Questing Adventurer. It's our first minion that costs 3 mana. This is an average 3-drop. It's a 3/3. We're not going to get the effect on other Murlocs because chances are we're not going to have any other Murlocs in our deck, and even if we do, it'll probably just be one. Hungry Crab, a 1/2 for 1 cost. Yeah, if you happen to have another Murloc on the board, that's great, but if it's so situational, I don't think that's that good of a pick. I have never played with Farsight. Never played with this card in Arena. Never played with it in Constructed. What it's going to do is going to draw a card, and that card's going to cost 3 less. So let's say it's, I don't know, let's say it's turn 4, and we put Farsight down, and we get Silverhand Knight. So this cost us 3 mana, we've got 2 left. This now costs 2 mana. So basically, on turn 4, no, that'd be turn 5. See, I don't even know, I'm not even sure. You'd almost have to, for this to be that good of a card, it seems to me that it would have to be like, I mean, to me, since it costs 3 mana, the next card is just going to, this is just a cycle card. I'm sorry, I've never spent much time with this card, so I'm just sort of looking at it for the first time. All this does is help you make your deck a little smaller. Just cycles to the next card, and it's going to be cheaper. What I'm assuming is that card costs 3 less even the next turn. So maybe that's where you might get an advantage out of it, is because the next turn you're going to be able to play that card a lot cheaper and something else. I don't know. I'm just not crazy about Farsight, I guess. In Arena especially, there's no telling what we're going to... I mean, what if you pull Cult Master? So Cult Master cost 1 mana. I mean, you've spent 3 mana to get it that way, so I don't know. I don't see it. I think we're going to go more like War Leader. It's an average 3. We know we can get some work out of it. Speaking of 3s, I think this is another 3. I'm not going to get a 1/1. Totemic Might is not that good to me, especially in Arena, so we're going to go Flesh-Eating Ghoul there. Flesh-Eating Ghoul and Questing Adventure, 2/3 minions we have now that can definitely get out of hand if there's not an immediate answer for them. Alright, so I love Mad Bomber. It's a 3/2/2. It's very tempting, but I think for that early game trading advantage, it's worth going Stormforged Axe here. So that's what we'll do. We certainly didn't need another 3 minion. Alright, and now we're going to take the Owl. As much as I like the Shield Master, it's the one taunt that I'll typically get. We're going to go ahead and get Iron Beak Owl to have that silence in our deck. And I suppose we'll get Frost Shock here. I'm not a huge fan of Frost Shock for a Shaman deck in Arena, but I really don't like these choices, and it certainly can freeze an enemy and give you an extra turn to prepare how to deal with it. Alright, so our 5s are pretty solid, though I like this 5 alright. In fact, both of these 5s I like alright. This is such a good 3, I think I'm going to take it. Although we are going to have to sort of not take 3s for a while here, because it's getting a little out of hand. We only have 1 weapon, so South Sea Deckhand is probably a sitting duck because it wouldn't have charge. And though it's tempting for the silence, I think for another card draw we're going to get the Novice Engineer here. And this will probably be our first 1-drop that's a minion. I don't like the Patriarch at all. Elven Archer is actually okay because you've got 1 damage for sure somewhere. So if you're playing this on turn 1, yeah, it's just 1 damage to the hero. But hey, it's 1 damage. Got to get its damage somewhere. And then you have a 1/1 that's probably, especially if you're playing a mage, druid, rogue, you know, whatever, you're probably not going to ever get to attack with it. But still, I think because of that 1 damage, it's a decent 1-drop. This is an easy choice. I really like Venture Co. Mercenary, certainly over getting a second Cult Master. I think Venture Co., if you get to play this on turn 4 with the coin or turn 5, it's a game changer if they don't have the single target removal to deal with it immediately. And now we'll get some removal, which we need. Deal 2 damage to 2 random enemies. It does have an overload penalty, but for 1 mana cost, we'll definitely take that because right now we've picked 19 cards and we're in desperate need of removal. Okay, this actually is a tough decision. Do not care about Doomsayer. Doomhammer is a great weapon, a epic Shaman card that is really good. It has Wind Fury. You can swing this thing a total of 8 times, but you can swing it twice a turn for 2 damage. So that's really good, even if you're just attacking to their face. I mean, that's a total of 16 damage to the enemy hero for 5 mana. It's really good, but it also helps you trade. On the other hand, Faceless Manipulator. Somebody puts a bomb out there, just copy that bomb. But I think I can't really pass on Doomhammer there. A second Rockbiter weapon is not a bad thing at all. In fact, it's probably how we're going to go, though. If I could trade Razorfin Hunter certainly for Murloc Warleader, or even for Questing Adventurer, I probably would. But we've got more 3s than anything right now, which is not how I want it to end, so we're going to pick up the Rockbiter weapon. Wow, what a tough decision here. Another 3 with Feral Spirit, but this is a special 3. This puts out 2/2/3 taunts. It does give you an overload penalty, but man is it solid. I actually am going to pass though, simply because we need the 4 drops, and Defender of Argus is also a really solid card. We're going to go Defender. Okay, we do have a little bit of overload. We've got Forked Lightning. We also have Stormforge Axe. And we have Doomhammer, and that's it. So we have a little bit. So Unbound Elemental is a, in play here as a possible drop. It is a little situational though, and because I think we could really use another strong 2-drop, we're going to go Youthful Brewmaster. Probably going to pick up the Dragoning mechanic. As much as I love Fairy Dragon against a mage especially, I think we're going to go Dragoning mechanic because we just need some strong 4 drops. Turn 4 and turn 5 are so important. Okay, I don't know if I'll catch flack for this. Some people may see Bloodlust and their eyes go red and they feel like they have to choose it, but no question here for me, Amani Berserker is the choice. Bloodlust is great, but either you've got a solid deck or you don't. And yeah, Bloodlust may be able to end the game quicker, or it may help you get caught back up if you're losing for some reason. But a card like Amani Berserker gets you started on the right track, and to me, that's, at this point in our draft, the more important decision. I think the Dread Corsair is probably not for us. I mean, we have the one Stormforge Axe, so this would make this cost 2, so it'd be a 2 for 3/3. We also have Doomhammer, same thing, it'd be a 2 mana cost for a 3/3. Obviously that's good, but that gets to be pretty situational on waiting to have a weapon equipped. I really think it's between, do we want 2 Stormforged Axes or do we want a Darkscale Healer? A 5 mana cost minion that does some healing. Its stats are okay. It's almost where you want it to be. And it restores health to you and any minions that need it. I'm not used to using multiple weapons with a Shaman, but this isn't so high of a ranked card for me that it's an easy choice. I mean, I wish it was. I wish there was a little bit more compelling choice, and it would make this easier for me to pass on a second Stormforged axe. You know, my gut tells me to get the axe, so that's what we're gonna do. Definitely not Windspeaker. I'm happy with one. Forked Lightning we've got one of, but it is some more removal which we need. I like the Gyurabashi Berserker a lot, but we cannot ping it ourselves. We're not a mage. We also can't directly heal it. At least it's not under our control that we're going to be able to heal it. So, though this is a difficult card to deal with, my tendency here would be to value some more removal. I think that's what we'll do. Go Forked Lightning. Based on the deck we've built here, I really don't like Kobold Geomancer. I mean, what we're talking about is if we have this down, our Forked Lightnings do 3 damage instead of 2. Our Frost Shock would do 2 damage instead of 1. But really, that's about it. It's about all we would get out of it, and that's pretty situational. And Raid Leader, I think, is okay. I mean, I've gotten some decent work out of Raid Leader. Obviously, its stats are not that good, but just whenever you put it down, everything is going to be boosted up, and that includes Totem. So you got to think about your hero ability. And for a Shaman, I think Raid Leader is a decent pickup here. Well, we don't have a Yeti, and it's just never a good idea to go into an arena match without one Yeti, correct? Am I right there? Our 5s are pretty strong. As much as I like Stranglethorn Tiger, I think we'll go Yeti here. Tauren Warrior, to me, is the weakest of the Enrage cards, so we'll pretty easily choose the Yeti. Alright, for our last choice, I really wanted more Fire Elementals or some more big bombs. We just didn't get it. I'm not crazy about Mountain Giant. I do think it's possible that with this deck we have a little bit of card draw, and I do think it's possible it'll get some play. We only have the one Divine Shield, and so to count on that for our Blood Knight is folly. So basically we're counting on this being another 3/3/3. Yeah, we could sort of hold on to it. If we're playing a Paladin, obviously you'd hold on to it for the first Divine Shield that came out that you had it in your hand, but against anyone else, you're probably not going to hold on to it. If it needs to be played, you just play it. I don't like Doomsayer at all. Perhaps if you're playing as really going heavy control, you know, as a priest or a mage, and you've just drawn cards that really put you in a control mindset, then yeah, Doomsayer helps. But we're going to take a chance on Mountain Giant. We'll see if this will be interesting, because my tendency is always to not pick him. I just don't like the idea that you have to hold back cards to make him affordable. But this is a little bit of a different deck than I'm used to, even for a Shaman. So we'll give him a try and see how it works out this time. And if in all of our matches it never seems to really work out, then just sort of be a mental note to try to stay away from the Mountain Giant. Alright, quick bonus little segment here. We'll be right back to Hearthstone, but this is my level 90 Paladin, Therena. She has been my main for several years now, and deleted her a few months back. Took a long time to get her back to 90, and have just started doing a little LFR. I'm not playing WoW a whole lot, that's why it took so long to level her back up, but anyway, just wanted to throw this in as I did log in to check out those friend requests, and let's get back to some Hearthstone. What do you say? Alright, where were we? We just finished building our deck, and so I think let's take a minute and talk about expectations here. I think it's important for your own sanity, if you're a big arena player, to have appropriate expectations. The Shaman deck I built earlier today, if I had stalled out at 5 or 6 wins with that deck, I would have been disappointed. I knew I had a good deck. I had several fire elementals. I had Ysera, the legendary, one of the better legendaries for Arena, and just a lot of good 2-drops and really just a good solid deck. Now this deck, here's my expectation. We don't have many bombs. We've got enough if things go right. We have decent trading minions, but we don't have a lot of removal. We only have 1 silence. So when I go into a match, a run like this with a deck that I'm like, you know, it's decent. If things go my way, we'll get some wins. If not, we could have an early exit. And so I try to set my expectation, and the goal here is let's just play as smart as possible. We'll take risks where we need to, and we'll try to minimize the damage when we can, and see what we come up with. So that's sort of the mental process I try to go through to save a little bit of anguish when you go into an arena run and you just don't have the cards that will allow you to maybe play well and make it all the way to 9 wins. I'm not saying a deck like this can't go to 9 wins, but there would be some luck involved and maybe a little more skill than I have. You know, I see other people that can maybe take decks that aren't quite as strong, and because they are just so familiar with how not only they're going to play, but being able to predict how other people are going to play, they will often make it much further. So one thing I'm still doing in drafting is, even though it would be nice to keep this Forked Lightning for removal, I know we've got 2 of them. So I'm going to take the chance here and say, you know what, one of these will come out again. Frost Shock, really, I think it's more valuable later. The 1 damage now is more chance that that's actually going to kill something, but I think we're going to have more value out of that later. So we're actually going to send both removals back. Is that a good move? Not necessarily, but that's just kind of the mindset I have right now. Rockbiter, I think this is a more appropriate removal to start with. I kind of like that. Owl, if at all possible, I hope that I will be able to save that till much later in the game.
Greetings, friend.
Especially against a mage, there's no reason to throw that out early. So we're going to pass on our first turn here. We could have coined up and gone Berserker, but we really don't have an obvious
Drink
play
with me, friend.
For round 2 if we do that. So now we're in an interesting position. We can just throw a totem down. Don't know which one we get. It's kind of a random play that just sort of prolongs things. We can go ahead and use our weapon, take this out, and go into next turn and hope to get our Berserker down. Or we can play our Berserker now, and if the mage wants, go ahead and trade with it or remove it some way that she has. I'm actually going to take this route. Remove this, and then go ahead and coin up and put our totem.
It's time for a little blood.
Likely what we'll see from the mage, if she has any of her removal, she'll probably do something similar right back. If she has it, there are a lot of removal spells in her mana cost range where she can just take that. Now the reason why she does this here, if we attack this, it will enrage it. However, it will only have 1 health left, and she'll be able to hero ping it. Her minion will still be alive with 1 health, and she'll have the advantage. So our choices here are to totem or put the Murloc War Leader out, put some pressure where we'll know that she'll have to do something. If we do that, we'll just go to the face here. The other choice is we could put a totem up. If we got the taunt totem out, then we're feeling a little more comfortable about next turn. But we're going to go ahead and go Murloc War Leader, attack her in the face, and let her see how she wants to deal with this. And this was a good play for her because she knows we want to enrage it. However, she also knows that if we do enrage it, her minion's still alive, and we only have 1 health on our enraged minion. So unless we had a way to heal it or buff it. That's going to be an automatic Fire Blast. Destroys our minion and leaves her in a much stronger position on the board. So she'll do it for us. The only advantage that playing it that way was that we got the damage done to her. Now this is a time where we can bring out Draggingling Mechanic. The only problem with this against a mage is that the mechanical Draggingling it summons is a 2/1, so it's an easy kill for her. So I think we'll actually go Yeti here. Again, this does 2 damage. If we attack here, then we kill her minion, but our minion only has 1 health, so it's an easy kill for her. So once again, we're going to attack to her face and see if she can make us pay for it with a removal spell or something else. If she wants to, she can attack here and spell damage. She only has 1 mana, so now she doesn't have the option of doing Fire Blast. Let's see what she decides to do with her Croc. Honestly, it's not a bad time to pull out the Frost Wolf. We don't have any removal, so there's no good way for us to deal with the Yeti. If we trade 2 for 1 here, she'll just Hero Blast our Yeti, and that's the end of that. So we'll just pull out Frost Wolf, and once again, the face. Now the danger in playing it this way is it gives her the ability to use spells to clear a lot of our minions off, and she still has a full health minion. If she attacks any of our minions with this, we know that our Fire Elemental next turn will be able to take it out if it takes any damage at all. Now she doesn't have to attack it. She knows these will be frozen for a turn. And if she gets Flame Strike out for next turn, it kills the Yeti. Okay, now we have to take this out, I think. We still haven't done any totems yet. It just hasn't made sense to me to do a totem. There's nothing to give Wind Fury to because we don't know for sure this will survive. I think we go Fire Elemental, take out her Yeti. See what she has. Flame Strike. She can only kill one of them. Actually, on this turn, she wouldn't be able to kill either one. If she Flame Strikes, they both have 1 health. We give one of them Wind Fury next turn, and if they're both alive, we attack and we're lethal. So she's probably going to polymorph one or freeze them both again.
I wonder.
Now, if she's not able to freeze this, we're doing 12 damage to her face, potentially. Okay, first things first, we need to test this secret. Armor's up. So, I think this is when we're going to do a totem. We're going to just totem, and then Wind Speaker, hit her twice with this. Very good. I like the totem. I like the taunt totem in this situation.
Feel the power of the wings.
We know she wants to deal with the Fire Elemental now because she'll be taking 12 damage next turn from this if she doesn't have a taunt or a way to neutralize it, such as another polymorph. Or she could freeze it. Cone of Cold right now, if she places it right here, there's another polymorph. And she pretty much had to do that if she had it available. She just couldn't take that damage. Now a Blizzard or Flame, well, it can't Flame Strike this turn because of mana, but I think Blizzard's actually 5 mana as well, so she's just gonna fire blast one of them down. We should be able to get the Mountain Giant out this turn if we want. And I think that's the right play. Obviously we are lethal on our side. We can use Rockbiter to take that out. Put it on this, trade there. Go ahead and put the Ghoul out with it if we are going to trade minions, but if she doesn't take this out, okay, she's going to. Another secret. So we're going to have to test that. Alright, so 3, and then this would be 4. We could silence it. I think let's silence it. You know what? We've got her on the ropes. Let's go ahead and do this. That way, if she gets to copy, if her secret is that she copies a clone of whatever we summon, then we want her to have a 2-1. Alright, so now we attack. See what happens. If we had not silenced this, then we would have been attacking her with the Mountain Giant, and we would have been in trouble. As it is, it's game over. So, we talked about Mountain Giant. Game 1, Mountain Giant does some work for us. We got very fortunate card order that match. And certainly cannot count on that every turn, every match.
For Doomhammer.
I think we're going to take a chance here and send them all back. Doomhammer's too expensive. Raid Leader's not a good early card. This is better. This draw is better than the last draw. Neither one of them are necessarily perfect or great. But
Greetings, friend.
we'll take it this way.
The pleasure is
the other.
mine.
And see how much pressure with the coin the rogue is able to put on us.
Sorry about that.
This is our town,
Sort of
scrub.
the ultimate opening play for a rogue. To be able to use the coin to use the combo here. You know what?
What
Alright, if we Fork Lightning this turn, we're not going to be able to play anything next turn. I think we do play
hope
this,
you like my
draw a card,
invention.
job's done. And hopefully these two minions are still there, and Fork Lightning next turn will take them both out.
It's time for a little blood.
Now Fork Lightning becomes dangerous. Okay. I think I'm comfortable doing Fort Lightning because worst case scenario, if it hits this and enrages it, we can kill it with either Elven Archer or Frost Shock. So let's see what we get here. Alright. Now that changes things. We do not want to put an Elven Archer down. We certainly don't want to enrage this. 1 damage to it enrages it. So there's really not a play here. Totem up. Stall a little bit, see what she does next turn. Unfortunately, we get a backstab out of her. Unfortunately, her next turn.
Mistakes are made.
Sorry that happened.
Alright, she thought she was going to be doing 2 damage by doing Eviscerate. but because she played backstab first, she comboed it, which does 4 damage, so instead of enraging her berserker, she killed it. Alright, we only have 2 mana here, so really I want to save the Elven Archer. All we're going to do is totem up in the turn. So the rogue's got to be thinking, wow, I just made a huge mistake, but they didn't take board control, which is true. They didn't really have the ability to do that. Okay, so this taunt card is going to get out of control. It's going to gain 1 health every turn as long as those 2 are on the board. So we can take this out with Elven Archer. That'll leave 4 mana. We can put the Yeti down. I think that's the play. Although, we can... No, we can't do that. Let's see if this works.
1 shot, 1 kill.
Thought it did. I did not think that kind of damage had to follow taunt rules, and it doesn't. So we'll go ahead and play our Yeti. And we are going to not attack this turn. I think that's a debatable play. We'll see what she does, if she can make us pay for that mistake, but she's going to go to our face, of course. Now we can take this down, but let's see what else we want to do. Since we're going to be doing some trading, it might not be a bad idea to put Cult down and actually send both of these at it. Let's see what else we would do, though, what our other options are. We could get draw cards out of the Mana Tide Totem. Actually, I like Defender of Argus here as well. Then we kill this with 1 swing of that, and then this goes to the face. Let's do that, and then the other thing we'll do is totem up. So let's totem up first. Healing totem,
My
even better.
shield for Argus.
Takes this out. And we're going to ignore that turtle for now. Now we're in a very strong position. She's going to have to assassinate, so we get the assassinate out on Yeti, which, you know, we'll take that. The turtle is now down to 5 health. We can take it out if we want with our Fire Elemental, or we could take it out with the Defender of Argus if we give it Wind Fury. But I'm not crazy about that. I think we...
I wonder.
I don't really want to trade these if we're not going to kill it. Do 1 damage to it, then we can trade 2. Let's do that. Let's get cards out. And we can also put Mana Tide, so we'll really have some cards.
Or both.
I think I like this. This may seem like a strange play, and I guess in some ways it is.
I'll give it a shot.
We're not going to get Mana Tide out. Okay, what's even better though, I think, at this point, instead of toteming up, is to bring Defender of Argus back into our hand. Such a good card, but it's a good card because of its Battle Cry effect, not because of its stats. So we got some good card draw out of that. Alright, she's going to take out our Cult Master, almost guaranteed. 1 swing and this is gone. There we go. Good play there. Alright. I think what we want to do... Well, again, we have a turn here. We actually could give this taunt and kill it with our Brewmaster, and it would still be alive because of the boost from Defender of Argus, and we would still have 4 mana, so we could also give something Wind Fury. Or we could put Tide Totem down, and this would be a good time to do that, I think.
My shield for
I think this
Argus.
is a good time to put our Mana Tide Totem because we're going to have 2 taunts up. So we will take this out. It's still alive. Take this out. It's going to heal this. And we're going to card draw out of our Mana Tide. Again, card draw. If you have decent minions, decent
Your
cards,
magic
card draw
shall not
equals
save
victory. Get silence out of him. this taunt, which means he has to leave the healing totem alive. Now, if we get Rockbiter up, or when we do, we'll definitely want to use it on this, because right now, this is a pointless totem. It's been silenced, it has no attack, so we can't suicide it. It's just sitting there, taking up space on the board. I think this is a good time to get Mountain Giant out.
I wonder.
Put a lot of pressure. The only thing I would have liked about doing Fire Elemental right now is it takes us out. But Mountain Giant for 7 mana right now is the way to go, in my opinion. We can possibly give that thing Wind Fury next turn, and we're going to totem up instead of putting another minion out. Take this out. That. Heal up. If she has another Assassinate, we'll certainly see it here.
None shall pass.
So one of our totems just got taken out by her Black Knight. We just had that road reeling from the plays that we were able to make. That was definitely going to be a win, it looked like. So she goes ahead and gives up instead of continuing, and we have our second victory. And we only cast 2 spells, so we're not making much progress on the daily. We don't have many spells, so even if this ends up being a long arena run, there's no way we'll finish that daily during this run, I would say.
Thrall versus Uther. I will fight with honor.
For Doomhammer.
We will definitely keep Divine Shield. Playing a Paladin here, I'm willing to give up a 3 and a 4 to see if we can get a 2. Alright, so we got a weapon that can help keep his
Greetings, friend.
early Divine Shields and his little minions that he'll be throwing out there, keep them from getting out of control.
Well met.
Little silver hand recruits.
Greetings, friend.
We're going to go ahead and totem down instead of putting backs in. And now we have some spell damage. In most cases, this is about as good a totem as you can get. Obviously, there's sometimes that the taunt totem just helps you out, but with our deck, this isn't necessarily that strong. Alright, so now we have a sort of a interesting decision. Do we put Divine Shield out when there's such a cheap way to kill the shield, or do we go ahead and clear the board with the Stormforged Axe and then put Divine Shield out next turn? Because this is going to really make Paladin consider what he plays the weapon out. We've got 2 more durability. We're only going to have 3 mana next turn, so this is still the card we're going to have to play most likely. Alright, so there goes our weapon. Pointing up. What is he playing? Divine Shield on this? Oh, okay. Very nice. We will go ahead and put Divine Shield down.
For the crusade!
It's true silver champion time. If he's got a weapon, this would be a good time to play it, because then he can take the Divine Shield out with his weapon and keep us from even possibly getting a 2-for-1. Looks like he's playing something else though. Ooh, he is gonna... No, he's not gonna trade. Okay. You know, I think we've got enough minions out there that actually... No, I still think we play Frostwolf, because we've got 2 minions, so it's going to be a 6/6. And the way the trading is potentially going to happen in this match, I think. The other thing we could do, if we put Doomhammer in, 1 attack there first, and use Doomhammer to take that out. and that out and clear his board, and we still have pretty strong. You know, that might be just too tempting.
Join or die.
It's just too good a board clear. Now, unfortunately, turn 6, we're going to have 4 mana, so we're not going to be able to play our Frost Wolf, even if the board still looks good for it.
Let me think.
It's interesting that he would do that.
Reporting for duty.
So, I guess a way for him to make sure that he gets our Scarlet Crusader. So, you know, we could go 2 hits to that with our Doom Hammer, and then either ignore that or trade there. Or we can raid leader, kill this in 1 turn, and then hit that. Neither one are ideal, because it does take our minion out, but we have to deal with this. So the only question is, do we want to just ignore this? It just lets him trade real easily. I think we'll go ahead and do this.
Handle it!
Oh, that's true. This has 2 health, so we can take this out with the hammer. I didn't really think about that. Yeah, I like that. We still have 4 durability on the Doom Hammer. It's such a strong weapon. If he doesn't have a second ooze, it's just amazing the plays you can make with that. And I didn't even see that play at first. Still has 3 mana. We have not seen a Paladin weapon yet, which is kind of strange.
Reporting for duty.
All kinds of plays we can make here. I really think, though, we have to get Frostwolf out while it still gets full benefit. As much as I'd like to put Ghoul down and do some trading, or put the Iron Elemental down, do 3 damage, I just think this makes too much sense right now. Does it, though? Because this trades for 3. Okay, we're going to do it. If it's that good a play, it's worth doing, even if Frostwolf Warlord suffers. Yeah, we'll go ahead and go ahead and do this.
Join or die.
And we'll save swings. We've still got 3 swings left. We'll save them. It's only doing 2 damage. If he has a Consecrate, probably should have played it a turn ago, but... Okay. What we have to watch here, he might go ahead and summon. Might as well. What we have to watch here is it's going to do 2 damage to everything. So obviously the one thing we don't want to kill it with is Fire Elemental, because then it would kill the Fire Elemental. There's nothing we can do to silence it. We could go ahead and play Mountain Giant after we take care of this. There's nothing we can do.
I wonder.
Do we just go ahead and get this out on the board, though? I think we do.
The frost wolves stand
And that
ready.
may be questionable,
or
but it's
die.
so strong. It's still going to be plenty strong. Now we'll just totem up. 6 damage. I still have an 8/6 even after taking the damage, so I think that was worth it. Obviously, this gets healed because of the healing totem we summoned, so I think that was worth it. And we're now lethal if he doesn't have... He at least needs to consecrate now to get rid of this, but that would just leave him 4 mana left. He needs taunts up. He needs either single target removal, something. Okay, so he has given up. He just gave us Blessing of Kings ×2.
Well,
The victory.
Bam bam. Whenever out in style. Gave our Frostwolf Warlord Blessing of Kings X2, so appreciate that. So the reason why we put Frostwolf Warlord out before we killed the thing was to get the benefit from all the minions that were on the table. And in that case, obviously it worked out. People talk about the heart of the cards with these types of games and things coming out in your order, and we have definitely benefited. We've played, I think, pretty well, but we've benefited from that for sure.
Doomhammer.
All right, we'll keep. Wow. Only thing we're gonna send back is questing. It's hard to complain even if we don't get a 2. Okay, now we have a 2 as well. It's hard to complain about a 1, 2, 3, 4. It'd be nice if we had a 1 or 2 drop minion, but if you start sending too many things back, you end up with, you know, Mountain Giant and Fire Elemental, and there's just nothing to play for ages. So we can coin into the Scarlet Crusader turn 2 if we need to.
Greetings, friend.
Ooh, nice. Now we do have something to play.
One shot, one kill.
Now if we play Stormforge Axe turn 2.
Reporting for duty.
You know what? I think we're fine. We're fine to go ahead and do this. Because turn 3 we'll use coin to get Scarlet Crusader out. Paladin with all divine shields and whatnot. As long as we can, we don't want to let him put out all those Silverhand recruits and not.
Reporting for duty.
Alright, he's just at this point I think wanting us to use our. You know what? I actually like Berserker here, I think just as much as the Scarlet Crusader, coining up the Scarlet Crusade. I don't know, next turn we're gonna have Defender of Argus,
I
so
wonder.
it's a tough call, but I think we will go Amani. And I'm okay with doing this. I mean, this is what he's wanting us to do. He's basically just wanting us to waste the swings of the weapon on his Silverhand recruits. But let's see if he consecrates here. The problem with consecrating here is this thing is enraged. So the other play, if we'd put Scarlet Crusader, that's fine too. Consecration just takes the shield off, and it's still a potent 3/1. So we'll hit this with the sword. Again, Divine Shield, Scarlet Crusader, probably pretty good play. He's got this. We got our other weapon, so I'm certainly glad now that we've been holding back.
For the crusade!
Give it a shot.
I don't think there's any reason to coin into a totem at this point. This coin actually right now is counting as a card, which is making Mountain Giant one cheaper. So there's a good counter to Divine Shield. Mad Bomber's great for taking that off, and he'll clear this with. We'll clear his with our weapon. But let's see if he plays something else. At least one of these, if not another card. It's a good play.
Reporting for duty.
So now. Somewhat aggressive play here would be to coin up into the Fire Elemental and take that out, but that would be really going above and beyond to make sure we take this out. But the problem is we don't necessarily have another play. And I don't really want to do anything, to be honest. So this hurts our chances of getting Mountain Giant out in a reasonable amount of time, but we're gonna do it.
Elements guide.
Gonna do it. I think why I was comfortable in making that play at that point is we have another axe sitting here, so the frustrating thing about Mountain Giant is And I don't want to let this happen. Sometimes it causes you to play maybe less aggressive or not
Let
make the
me
plays that you
think.
probably should, because you're thinking, oh, just if I save a couple more cards, I'll be able to get this out. Which that's great, but he's going to Divine Shield it. So we'll just use Rock Biter here to take the Divine Shield off, I think. And that still leaves Silverhand Knight to get out, I think, so.
Elements guide me.
Take some damage. But
Squire, attend me.
see, so like that turn,
Ready,
we
sir.
use 2 cards. So unless we get into some card draw, this Mountain Giant is just going to get more and more expensive. We'll at least average using 1.5 cards a turn, if not more. Enable him to trade really effectively against our Fire Elemental. Consecrate here does take one of these out. Alright. So, probably the best way of dealing with this, if we Defender of Argus, this has 3 attack, then that's 6. Or if we Defender of Argus, this has 5 attack, and then that's 8. If we put it on this, 6, and then we'd have to strike it with the axe. I think we want to do it with 1 minion, not with 2. What to do? It's a big bomb, we just got to take it out.
My shield for Argus!
The other option is going to his face, but then if he consecrates and has other removal, we could be in a really weak position. If we hit it with this, it gets down to 5, and it's just an easy trade, and we still have Rock Biter.
To battle!
Could live to regret that play. He's got card advantage for sure. And it's not like we have anything real strong, and we have a overly priced minion and a weapon in our hand right now. I'll take this out, obviously. It's his only option. We definitely need some card draw right away.
For the crusade!
Now we gotta hit that with our weapon.
Elements guide me.
Look at this one lonely, expensive card we've got. Pretty much just wasting space in our hand this match. So, got some work done for us one match, and then this match, it's wasting space on something that we probably could use and need to play right now. Again, if we don't get into our card draw, this match is going to quickly turn the other way. If he removes this, we're basically this turn not going to have an answer for the board. He may save that weapon though. Nope. I don't blame him. Go ahead and clear it. Doesn't even help us right now. Down to 5 health. We actually can cast this next turn if we want. Alright, we're going to start taking some damage now. Just clear this with this,
Reporting for
and then
duty.
attack us to the face with that. Oh, wow. He cleared everything. And it won't be a problem to clear that either. but it at least slows him down while we try to build some cards up. We've gotten ourselves into a really bad position here. Blessing of Kings. Now he can take it out and still have 2 health left. We'll probably have to take the 8 damage here. Ooh, Sword of Justice. Late game Sword of Justice. It's going to be a 3-3.
Reporting for duty.
That's probably game over here. Just to clear this with our weapon is going to put us at 3 health, and then obviously he's lethal, so... didn't get the taunt one. Nothing we can do. If we take that out, we're at 3 health. He's got 13 damage.
Well played.
That is GG.
You win this.
So our streak ran out with the cards coming out in the great order, but you know, I think part of why Paladins are so tough, not only their divine shields that you're chipping away at and often having to go 2 for 1 or waste removal spells on, but also their weapons, healing themselves and clearing out your board. Very powerful, and that was a well played match by that Paladin.
Versus Gul'dan.
Your soul shall be mine for Doomhammer.
You know, I like having Rockbiter early. I like having Frostwolf early. But if a 5 and a 6 are 2 of our cards starting this game out and there's another Rockbiter, we're in real trouble. And we're probably in trouble anyway. I mean, questing, if you have to play that on turn 3, that's less than ideal. So we need some amazing RNG with the top deck here.
Greet you.
And if you need card games, what I just said was we need, we're going to take a chance here and wait on Rockfire just a turn. We need some good luck on what we get off the top of our deck each turn for the next couple turns. If we don't get anything else, we're literally going to have to waste Mana Totem just to get an extra card next turn. Alright. So, we can clear the board if we want. And let's be honest, that's what we need to do.
Elements guide me.
But we're not going to waste it on that. I'll take it back. We're not clearing the board that way. Putting a rock bite on this and giving it 4 attack when it's just going to die against a 2 health thing would be terrible. Alright, we want to put a, too bad he took that out because we're going to have to spend our rock biter on ourselves here and just take that out, take swing and take that out. And then we'll only have 2 mana to spend, which means totem up.
Elements guide me.
But we are not going to let him have a summoning portal, which means that this turn he would have been summoning a 6 mana cost card, or 2 3 manas, or a 4 and a 2. And we would have been in such a hole, there would have been no coming back. Okay. So, here we go. Silverhand Knight. Get those on the board. Take out this with our swing of our hammer. And I think that's pretty much the best we're going to do. Now we could go Yeti, put this into this, have 3 damage. Take it out that way and lose our healing totem. I don't think it's worth it though.
Squire, attend me. Guide me.
Ready, sir.
we at least got the board looking a little better. He's got a good trade here, and then could take that out if he doesn't want to do this. But let's see what else he plays. He may have some pretty good removal. Okay, toss, that protects everything.
The
He
light
just-
protects me.
He should just go to the face with everything. Look at that. Soul fire, what he lose? Good. He lost that. So, you know, the only question now is, can we swing this around before he kills us? Now, it surprises me he did that. He should have been doing all damage to our face, in my opinion. So we only have 6, so... 4... Freeze it.
I wonder.
Go ahead and do 3 damage to it. No, we'll wait till next turn. Let's just... Do we even need to freeze anything? Yeah, I think we'll freeze the 3 damage one. I think that's more valuable to us than getting the totem out. We should live through one more turn, but past that it's going to be dicey unless we just come up with an amazing play. You know, that's the hard thing about Warlock. If you let them get you on the ropes like this, you look up and you're like, oh, they've used all their cards. Well, then they just start life tapping and your health doesn't go up. Yeah, they may lose a little health, but they keep board control because they've got lots of cards to look at. And you look at that. Now she can take that out without losing her Divine Shield. I like that play. I don't see another way of playing this out, so we just need to go ahead and do that. 3. Take that out with this, and that's 1 card. And then that leaves 3 mana. Go ahead and plop either that or that down. Alright. What did we just do? We haven't played any cards, right? No, okay. Just making sure we didn't play that wrong.
Give me a quest.
Elements guide me.
It is somewhat tempting here to remove the Yeti and get him back in our hand. Gotta be honest. We're losing that 4 attack next turn.
I wonder.
But to lose our Yeti
With me, friend.
to this would just be such a bad value. I think that's the play. We don't have many cards anyway. I mean, if he has really good cards right now, we're probably not going to swing this around regardless. So let's see what he does. How close to the brink of death we're about to be. Alright, so now he's going to pull out something big with this.
Silver moon shall not fall.
Everything. Just keep going all in.
Eyes are open.
Can't life tap though, but he went all in. That's a good trade for him. And if he goes in and hits us here, he's almost lethal next turn. Yeah, go to the face. Yeah, that's weird. It's kind of weird to me. What we're gonna have to play this just to take something out. So if we take this out, next round he's got 3, 4, 6 damage at least. And all we can do is this and totem. We could have really used the taunt.
Quest accepted.
You know what? I don't think we worry about this because whatever he pulls, it's going to cost most likely 8 or less
Quest
mana.
accepted.
So right now we're going to get damage off the board. Earlier in the game, if he had more cards, Yeah, you take this off every time. Now he could life that and pull more out,
Yeah.
but that's a risk we're willing to take. Alright. Personally, I'm okay with that. I mean, you don't want to lose that minion there, but we now have his shield
Squire,
off, so.
attend
Ooh,
me.
that's a big card to go out.
Ready, sir.
Is he going to go straight to our face? Yeah, he's just got one card left to attack with. But alright, we're at 11 health, so we're still in a lot of trouble. That does help a little bit, actually. Boom, it's got 2 health left. And then probably take out this. Take out 2 for 1 there.
What to do?
And then we'll have 5 mana left, so probably just put down Shaman Yeti, or summon a totem and put Raid Leader down. Either way.
Feel the power of the winds. Handle it! Job done.
We got his board more cleared than I thought we would. He's got 5 damage to our face.
Ooh, you're in trouble now.
Oh, there's some value there because he didn't have a card to discard. He still can just keep playing minions because of this thing. We're going to have to get that rid of that soon. We live another turn, but that's going to be about it. We can start killing ourselves if we want to. I guess we have to. I don't think there's anything. Let's see here. Let's count.
I wonder.
If we, let's say we get lucky and summon a taunt totem. It just takes this. We're still getting way too much damage. If we take out this, I mean anything we take out, I think it's game over either way. Play it out just to make sure. That's gonna be over. Just make sure he sees it and doesn't get distracted and trade with all of our totems. What's he doing? Life tapping. He either doesn't see it or more likely he's just being a little obnoxious and playing where he needs to.
Well played.
Alright. Good warlock play there. Oh wow. Got some spells cast. Alright, so we're 3-2, and you know, the first 3 matches went so smoothly. However, the last 2 matches, kind of more what I expected with this deck. We would really have to have a little bit of luck, and I guess you could argue better play on the part of the player, but to go deep with this deck, I think, you know, getting 4 or 5 wins out of this, I don't think, expectation-wise, that would be pretty cool. If we flounder here at 3 and lose 3 in a row and end up 3-3, it's probably a little disappointing. I think I'd like to see one more win out of this deck, but let's see how it goes here. Will this be our swan song, or can we keep it rolling at least another match? Let's see.
Thrall versus Malfurion.
I must protect the wild. For Doomhammer.
Taking a chance here, sending a 4 back. Yeah. At least we got some removal.
Greetings, friend.
Could use that Cult Master
My greetings.
around turn 6 or 7 last match when we were trying to get back into it. We needed cards. Alright. So this is a druid. These are basically identical except that the berserker has a chance to enrage. So
It's time for a little blood.
we'll put the berserker down. There is possibility that we could hold on to this long enough to play it with our weapon, but according to how our hand looks right now, I don't know that we will. Okay, we got a removal out of it. Yeah, I'm not going to hold on to it just waiting on a weapon. It's the play that makes sense right now,
X marks the
so that's what we're
spot.
going to do. You know, considering that he does have removal, especially as a druid, playing this first might have been better. Because maybe we'd have had the berserker, putting the berserker down this turn, and maybe he doesn't have the removal to deal with it. So, I don't know.
What to do?
Attack us to the face here. Oh, he is coining. What's he putting down?
You love my new recipe.
Puts us in an interesting position. He just gave us more attack, but lowered our health so that this would trade here. If we're going to trade with him, we put Cult Master down. If we're not going to trade with him, we put either Mana Tide or we totem up. Totem? Take it with it. We're going to go down this way. And that actually is interesting because now he has to attack that. Let's see what kind of removal or other cards he has to put down. Now he can trade. It's probably worth doing this right now. We don't have a 5 card that makes a lot of sense anyway. We really don't have any cards that make a lot of sense. We'll probably play Questing Adventure and then Fork Lightning.
Give me a quest.
It's kind of weird to get Questing Adventure out that early when you only have 1 card to play on him, but we'll get some more removal out of him. I guarantee you that. If he has it, he'll use it. Oh, he's gonna put something giant down, maybe. 7 mana. Swipe. Now, what's he gonna play? Not a real good time to play Frostlord Warlord. Not a real good time to play anything. So we'll just put what we got.
Stand ready.
Job's done. You know, we could have frost shocked him and frozen him, but I have a feeling against a druid there's
Your
going to be a time
magic
that
shall
we'll need to
not
do that.
save you.
We want to trade. What value? What's he doing? He's going to the face though. Take this out. Yeah, this will be good. Take this out with this. Put this on. Take 4 damage to that. And have really good board control. I think that's the way to go. He's got the health lead, but health is just a resource to get some board control, so I'll get the advantage at least. We'll see how big and bad the cards are he has right now, though.
For the crusade!
Okay, we'll smack that. Yeah, interesting. That's kind of weird. Oh, he's gonna hit us in the face. Man, 12, 16. We're almost lethal right now.
Elements guide me. Feel the power of the wings. I thank you.
Ooh, follow that up with a Ventrico Mercenary. How is he going to get out of this one? Obviously, if he's got removal, it goes to Fire Elemental. It's 12 damage just from this.
Shields up!
It's not enough.
Well played. My greetings.
I'm not going to drag it out. Be classy here. And hey, we got a win. We extended our run. Nice little night there. And it's definitely worked out in our favor. Four wins. Let's make it 5. Let's try. Let's try to make it 5.
Thrall versus Rexa.
This is the first hunter we've played in this run.
Let the hunt begin for Doomhammer.
Yeah. I like having Metrico early, but this is a support character, Mountain Giant, we certainly don't want in our hand right now. So we're going to take a chance and send them all back. Yeah, much better. We really don't want to play this unless we need a silence, but
Greetings, friend.
oh, there we go. Now we got some plays.
One shot, one kill.
Since we don't necessarily want to get this owl out turn 2, we're probably going to be playing the axe or toteming up, so might as well go ahead and get the archer out, even though it is kind of nice to have that 1 damage.
Do
Oh,
you
he's
need a
coining up to
blessing?
get something out. Ooh. What a weird play. Yeah, well, we'll have to take both of them out.
I'll give it a shot.
Elements. Well played. I thank you.
So we've only got 2 mana here. Do we play owl? Yeah, I don't think so. Just get that going and you know what?
Elements
hit him.
guide me.
Obviously I probably don't hit him there if I didn't already have another one in my hand.
Put this apple on your head.
We'll hit him again. He probably knows it. We'll play this first. 2, totem, take him out.
X marks the spot.
Elements guide me.
I would expect to see some removal here. I really would.
Sorry that didn't quite hit the mark.
5. Whale, ghoul doesn't make sense, owl doesn't make sense, weapon doesn't make sense. Totem is okay, but It's only going to be a 5/5, but there's no way to guarantee that we're going to ever have more minions up, especially if we don't play something strong here while we have a little advantage. So I think that's the play. You don't want to put a weapon up until you need it. We could have done weapon minion. Okay, I'll go ahead and take this out. It's a strong play there. Kind of like it. It's not the best use of Unleash the Hounds, obviously, but this is arena, not constructed, so when are you realistically gonna get the best use out of it? Probably not. Alright, so no ghoul, no owl. We're gonna go totem, wind speaker. The reason why I'm not playing this is I think that 3 damage is just too deadly coming out as a surprise. So we'll hold that back, because it may just serve us really well to be able to pull that out without him knowing.
I thank you.
It's kind of like the position we're in now. We've got a little board control. Cards are even. And it's probably do 2 damage to everything. Yeah, we'll trade with the Worgen before we do anything else. Let's see if we got enough removal here. You know what? We're going to go ahead and drop this. Okay. Even if this causes him to take 2 damage. Let's see here. And we knew that was a possibility. Oh, goodness. We were lethal there. I guess we still are. Be careful there. Not watching the health. The health and the damage that we're dealing out. Put that Rock Biter on that Wind Fury character. Goodness. That'd been awesome. Okay. So that daily, when you get a daily like that, like casting spells, I remember when I first started playing, I just, immediately when I'd see a daily, I'd want to finish it. So I'd go like, in this case, maybe create a mage deck that had 90% spells in it just for fun. We're playing a ranked match and have it done in 2 matches. But at this point, you know, it's not going anywhere. I'm sure I'll play a match or maybe an arena run tomorrow or something. And so just I'll just let that daily finish when it finishes. We're gonna keep the novice engineer, but it's a week 2, so we're gonna throw everything else back, see if we can get something better. Okay. Not a great start here, especially going against a paladin, but unless we have to play axe on turn 2, we will try to get novice engineer out.
Greetings, friend.
Well met.
Just for an example of a terrible play, I'm playing Rock Biter on turn 1, equipping it and attacking in the face. About as bad as it gets. Job's done. So don't do that. This is meant to be removal. You can put it on characters or your own hero. This gives you board advantage against minions, and in the right situation can change the game, so you don't waste it on. And of course we'll trade here instead of hitting him in the face with a paladin. If we don't, he'll end up having divine shield and something else terrible will happen. Alright, this is an interesting place here. I think we simply totem up. He hasn't really shown his hand yet. We don't really know what's going on. We're just going to trade and see what he does. He might summon another one. It's coming out at 3, 4.
I'm ready. I'm not ready.
So if we give +1/1, we can't kill it. But if we give +3 to this guy, we trade way up from a 2 to kill a 4, and no overload penalty. We still would have 3 mana to play. Not anything that makes a lot of sense. Probably just totem. And I guess the other thing we could do is we could go 2 and then add 3 and then hit, but then we don't get a totem out, so Even though we're not going to have anything on the board, I kind of like this better. Totem.
Oh,
Trade.
if you're sure.
And as a paladin, that was a 4 he didn't care about. So he's just trying to get it out there. But it does have 4/4, so it's a decent little 4. If he doesn't remove these little fellas, they actually set up pretty nice for getting a decent Frostwolf Warlord out. And we'll, even if we're going to trade here,
My watch.
which we probably won't go. Alright. I don't know. I still think this is the play. Just go to his face. He's got to attack this with this, so he'll just be able to attack there. I think this is the play. Hopefully we'll have, between the weapon and other stuff, we'll have enough removal next turn to worry about all the little mess he's got going here. We can Defender of Argus, a couple things to, well, these won't be here, especially not this one, but Defender of Argus is an option. Heck, putting Mountain Giant down next turn is an option. Just put some strength out there and let him figure out how to use these little guys to deal with the strength we're going to have. Let's see if he trades here, since he would just pop the shield, or if he decides to just maybe go to our face, or he could kings this. Let's see, that'd be a 5/5. Hits it once, gets it down to a 6/1. Nice play. I like that. It's a good play. Alright, we gotta figure some stuff out here. This, alright, take this off and that gets down to 3. But if we do that, we're missing out on this. So I think we do this.
For the Horde!
Pop up. And ball's back in his court. Now we're taking a chance here, because with all the divine shields and buffing that Paladin can do, this could get out of hand quickly. But again, we're just gonna show strength with strength and see how it turns out. I don't know how many kings he has. Sometimes you get a lot of them in the arena. He could have 3 or 4 of kings, and this could become a super minion that we can't kill. We didn't get any hexes. There's one downside. Wow, is he gonna take it? Such a strange play. It's just clearing everything so that we can't do anything? I don't know. Alright. So give this Wind Fury. Attacks once. It's got 5 health, and then takes that out. So it'd be a 1 for kind of 2-ish. That would be with this. We'd have 3 mana left. We could just take this out. We'd have 5. He'd probably kill it. I don't know.
Feel the power of the
I don't
wind.
necessarily see a play I like a lot better.
Well played.
So he knows what's coming. We'll probably go weapon here, or just this. Alright. We don't have any way of protecting it. If we had 4 mana, we could protect it from this, but we don't.
Always little time.
Oh, there we go. Okay, glad I saw that. I almost didn't see that play. Glad I saw it. We did use
Well played.
So, you know, I guess sometimes people just get lucky. He spent 5 mana to draw a card and deal its damage equal to its cost. And he straight up drew something with 6 mana cost. I just don't even believe it. Alright. I think we gotta use a weapon here. And maybe just go ahead and Defender of Argus that thing.
Elements guide me.
I can't believe that.
My shield for Argus.
Cannot believe that. He could have just as easily drawn a 1 or 2 mana card and spent 5 mana to do 1 or 2 damage to our Mountain Giant that had Wind Fury. And then if he couldn't dealt with it, it would have probably been game over. Oh, that's a good play. Great time for Commander. Kills it and just all it does is pop his Divine Shield. Great. Alrighty. +1 attack. We don't really need that right now. Obviously, we can take this out. 3, 5. I think that's what we do. We play this, and trade there and take that out.
Give me a quest.
3.
Squire, attend me.
Ready, sir.
Elements guide me.
Take this out. So, Consecration kills 1. Weakens the other 2. 2 Consecrations clears the board. But leaves him without a play. If he knew what I had, playing 2 Consecrations would be worth it. Whoa, Nelly. What's he going to do to protect that? He's going to make that thing come back to life, I bet. Alright, so if we go Raid Leader, this becomes 4. This becomes 5. This then has 6 health. I think that's what we got to do.
Handle it!
1 shot, 1 kill.
Well played.
So this would take it down to 4 health, and we could trade with something like this
Elements
and leave other
guide
stuff on the
me.
board, because I think it's going to come back to life. Alright.
To battle!
Only returns with 1 health, so now we have to
Little
If you
time.
insist.
Quest
back
accepted.
to the face. Look that he's got some weak cards in his hand of 6 cards. I mean, obviously we're lethal right now, but imagine what Consecration does to us. It takes us down to just 1 minion, and he'd still have 6 mana left, so at that point we wouldn't be lethal. Unless he gets no taunt, because then I could do this and the weapon. It's just unbelievable.
Quest failed.
Did he really just do that again to us in this game? I've never seen someone get that lucky on Holy Wrath. You have got to be kidding me. He just drew an 8 mana cost card, which means we know how big his cards are with his mana cost. That does not bode well for us in this match. We're not quite lethal.
We must
2,
cleanse
4,
the sun
6,
well.
8. We need a heck of a card here. Alright, so if we return this and then put it back out there and do 1 damage, that's 8. And then it's 6. And then it's 4, 2, game over.
I'll give it a shot.
Drink with me, friend.
Well played.
1 shot, 1
Hit very hard.
Victory.
Well played.
Little creative thinking there. I don't know, maybe misplay the sun, but my little brain, sometimes I have to really focus to figure those little quirks out. I knew we had him close to lethal, but a little tweaking there at the end and we got it. That was a very close match. He was on the verge of winning, by the way. He had some big cards and we had pretty much nothing, so we pulled that one out at the end. I'm not very hopeful on getting to 7 wins. You never know. But I will say this, if we hit 7 wins with this deck, I will feel like we have done really well with it. Let's just put it that way. And I know that there are people out there that probably would take this deck and say, "Oh, look, you should be able to hit 9 wins with it." But at least with where I'm at right now, me looking at this deck, I knew it wasn't as strong as some of the decks that I take to 9 wins. And so to be able to get to just 6 even, I'm fairly excited about. Man, we've faced
I will
faced a
fight
lot of
with
setbacks. A lot of those divine shields driving me crazy. Alright, we're going to take a chance here and send everything back, because if that's our starting hand, we are in trouble. We do have the coin. Alright, now we have a 1, 2 2s, and a 3. This is a lot better.
Do you need a
Greetings,
blessing?
friend.
Okay, he's going to be a
Well
little
met.
frustrated by this play we have. This is when Elven Archer...
One shot, one kill.
Doesn't often line up like that. Although a lot of the 1 mana cost cards do have
Reporting
1
for
health.
duty.
I sort of feel like because we have Blood Cell Raider, it actually is worth removing with the axe. Normally I would say, no, just go ahead and hit it with your archer, but because I know that next turn, if he doesn't ooze us, next turn we've got a little bit beefed up Blood Cell Raider, it's worth it.
Reporting for duty.
Alright. So now we'll go ahead and put this out.
X marks the spot.
And
I'll
go ahead and
give it a
clear the
shot.
board the old-fashioned way. And put the ball in his court. It's early. He's probably got removal. But we get the removal out of the deck. And we don't allow him to start boosting up these little guys with kings or even a divine shield and start trading up early. Eventually it's going to happen. We're going to see all the weapons and divine shields. So this may be a
Reporting for
divine shield
duty.
play. Usually it is if they have 4 mana. They spend 2 here and then 2 on the Argent Defender, whoever it is that finds. Ooh, not. Wow. All right. So let's think here. We have a lot of choices here. We could draw a card with Engineer. Like, I wonder if he's thinking. Consecrate. I mean, I don't know. Consecrate doesn't kill this. Let's just go ahead and put the Ghoul out.
Elements
Hit him
guide
with
me.
that. And the reason why I decided to play Ghoul, and you know, we could go ahead and draw a card too. We don't have anything to coin up to within the foreseeable future. I don't know. We're going to hold on because if we get Mountain Giant next turn, I'll be frustrated that we didn't hold on to the coin. And we can always draw a card later. It's 2 mana. It won't be a big deal as we start playing. What is he going to do to protect that?
Not on my watch.
Just hit it. Maybe he's just trying to get us to go through our 2 damage to 2 random enemies.
Elements guide me.
Now if we do this, it kills this, but it doesn't kill this, and we got it. We'll have to find a way to kill it. So it means we'll be trading here. So if we're gonna trade there, I don't know, I still think it's a good time to use it. Okay. We're going to be losing a minion, so why not play Cult Master?
Die, lad, die!
We could coin into that, but we're going to hold on here. So So we've got a little early pressure here. Consecration takes out one of them. Her Wrath takes out one of them. Very nice.
Well played.
The only nice thing for us is it draws a card.
Reporting for duty.
Okay, so we've got 4 mana. Maybe a 2 and a raid leader? I don't really know. It's a tough choice. I know we want to do that.
I hope you like my
Actually, I
invention.
think... Yeah, I think we just want a totem right here. Or a trade. See what happens. We don't have any removal, so it's a little bit of a risk to give him, you know, a chance to really put some good stuff in. Ooh, yeah. Nice time for consecration. Very nice.
Reporting for duty.
Alright. 3. Uh, 3, 4? 3, 4? 3, 6.
What
I
to
think
do?
we'll just go
Give me a
3.
quest. My shield for Argus.
See what he does. Blessing of Kings.
Just me and Mr. Bitey.
Well, he still has 4 mana here.
My shield
Oh, yeah.
for Argus.
Looks so nice. Gets that down to 3 health if we attack either one. It's a good play. Okay. Putting raid leader down makes it where this takes that out, direct trade. This takes this out, doesn't really help it actually. Doomhammer. 1, 2, and then trade. And then we also could play Manatide. I think that's what we'll do.
Elements guide me. Elements guide me.
Downside is we're taking a lot of damage. Let's see here. The choices. I think we'll do Manatide.
Quest accepted.
Man, we have a lot of weak minions right now.
It's time for a little blood. Not on my watch. Reporting for duty.
Okay, so I think the first thing we're going to likely do is Forked Lightning. Then probably silence this. Let's just start. I think it's pretty clear. Okay, no need to silence that now. 3. And then raid leader. And we're doing a lot of damage. Actually, we could go ahead and silence, and that would be 4 left. Silence that. 2, 2.
Drink with me, friend.
Or instead of that, we could do raid leader. Now, 16,
Little
17.
time.
Quest accepted.
Give that man Therena to the elements guide me. Elements guide me.
Alright. It's got 7 health. It's actually not as easy to remove. This is where Questing Adventure has actually... Nice. Big game there. Alright, so now he's just got to make sure he trades with everything. But the problem is, does he have a taunt? Or an ooze? That's what he's got to have. Glad we got this owl back in our hand. Alright, so that's 5. Does he have kings? Kings would make it, what, 9? Ooh, 10, 12, 14. He's almost lethal. All he needs is his weapon. All he needs is his weapon.
Well played.
Challenge
Too bad.
accepted.
So close. I can't believe how close to being lethal last turn we were. All those cards. And that is where Questing Adventure got out of control that game. And that was the advantage of having all of our little minions when, you know, really we wanted something bigger because we knew that he was going to be playing some stuff, but all the little ones let us play so many cards. Questing Adventure got huge. Alright, 7 wins. Break even, at least. Had some fun. Get a pack of cards, get a little dust. Man, I'm as happy as I can be on a match like that. Deck like this. I'm thrilled. What a great run this has turned into. Now we can just relax and try to keep playing smart and see what this 10th match looks like.
Brawl versus Uther.
Uther.
I will fight with honor
Paladins, do we
for
have
Doomhammer.
this run? Alright. Hey, we're playing with house money, so we're going to send all these junky cards back. All these support cards. Try to get something better. That's a little better. A 3-4 and then a removal. Might have to totem turn 2, but we're certainly not going to play an owl turn 2.
Greetings, friend.
Well met.
Why don't you coin up and put one of your little friends down? Problem with the Paladin is if he has kings and other stuff in his hand, we're going to have
One
such a
shot,
sharp
one kill.
start. We literally could be in trouble. Nothing that we want to...
Job's done.
See if he trades or just hits us to our face. Oh, he's pulling 3 mana something out. It's not Divine Shield got it.
That
Yeah.
was a
Reporting for
mistake.
duty.
So sorry that happened there, buddy. Honestly, I think it's too early to I think it's too early to fork lightning. I really do. I really do. We got Dragon Mechanic coming out next turn unless there's just
Reporting for duty.
I guess we've got to do it now. Problem is, what are we going to play with it? Yeah, I'm going to wait.
Just me and Mr. Bitey.
I'm going to go to the fence this time. We've got this sitting in our back pocket. So if he puts a Divine Shield on one or even gives one Kings, we can still do this and trade with something. Wrath, but that's all he's going to be able to do this turn. He's going to trade here. For sure. Not to. Alright. So we'll just Totem Scarlet Crusader.
For the crusade!
Our minion stays alive, so it's worth taking that out. Now he could consecrate here, but this would still be alive as a 2-1, and this would still be a 3-1 without its shield. So it's not really that good of a time to go. Oh, that's a good Drake, because he had so many cards. Very strong. 3, 4, 5, 6. We can't even kill it with this. Now we can silence it. It goes down to a 4-1 and do an easy trade. 2, 4, and still totem. So I think I like that.
Join or die.
He did get the silence out of us. If we don't get our Brewmaster to get it back, then we won't have any more silence for this match. So late game, that's going to stink, but that Twilight Drake would have completely changed the makeup of this game. Ooh, he's divining shielding it, I bet. Oh, no, a secret. Okay. Might come back to life. Who knows? Oh, perfect. Let's see. How are we going to take care of this first? 3, 2, or 3. Let's do that.
Elements guide me.
Okay, 2-1 is new target.
Get down!
I'm glad it was that one, not the one that brings it back to life. So what we're going to do here is
Join
3,
or die.
2, and attack with this, and then return it to our
Drink
hand.
with me, friend.
Totem up.
Who you want me killed?
Attack here. And that's all. Ooh, we do have that spell damage now, which is so nice.
There is little time.
Even though we don't have an ooze right now, being able to deal 2 damage and freeze him. You know, if we're just trying to wait another turn without seeing his weapon, he'll probably just recruit here.
Reporting for duty.
We need some cards, some good cards. There we go. That helps. Because then we can trade with probably this, honestly. Yeah.
Who you want me killed?
Rage that.
Join or die.
Challenge accepted.
Consecration is perfect. Imagine the value for consecration right now. It's insanity is what it is. He's got to. He's down to 12 health. Consecration or bust.
The victory.
Well played.
Wow. I don't know what to say right now. Don't know what to say right now. Crazy thing is, I mean, we're just one match from, I mean, let's just say somebody's got a great deck, but it comes out in an awkward order. Like, if somebody just has bad luck, our deck's good enough to beat somebody if they have, even if they have a great deck. If it comes out in an awkward order, we can win. We could get 9 wins.
I must protect the
Let's see how it goes.
For
Keep
Doomhammer.
that. And we'll keep the axe, but we're going to send the Rockbiter back and see what we can get. Okay. Let's get it going.
Greetings, friend.
Interesting. If we can somehow work in Mana Tide after getting some taunt on the board, that could be good. I was thinking about coining up here. Just about anything he plays, we'll go ahead and play. Whoa! Scratch that. That might not be
Be
true.
my ancestor.
Yeah, it's still true. It's not worth axing. If we axe it, it would just enrage it and give it 3 attack.
Drink
The play
with me,
here is
friend.
put something that does 3
Don't
damage
touch.
down. Let's see if he has removal. Probably what he will do is go to the face. I don't think he'll trade. What? You don't want to trade. You've got taunt. That's crazy talk.
I wonder.
What's he playing? Does he have a way to boost it up?
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
No, it catches. 6 damage. 6 damage, but we don't have a choice. We gotta just take it out and take our lumps.
Elements guide me.
Get all that damage. It was a great play. What was that?
Sorry.
Shattered Sun Cleric.
I thank you.
That's why Shattered Sun Cleric may be the best neutral 3-drop in the game. I don't know. It's right there with the top ones for sure. We had to use Overload. So I'm just trying to get
Hope you like
cards right
my
now.
invention.
Possible turn 5 come out with Venture Mercenaries. Pretty strong play. Oh, does he have a way to heal that? Why would he initiate the trade there? I don't understand. I'd say this guy's playing a little weird, maybe. Of course, unless he has a buffing.
Someone
Okay,
called for
that's
the
why he did it. It's a good play. I really like the play now. The problem with playing this now is we probably are going to need this 6 damage next turn. So, I think we just put out the Yeti.
Elements guide me. Elements guide me.
Unfortunately, I think we have to clear it there. We have to clear it. We're living on the edge on health, but at least we can clear that. And hopefully whatever else he puts down, we can clear with the Yeti. Not gonna be able to clear everything, but we should be able to clear this. He's building up his armor. Continuing to attack us for one, at least one every time. Yeah, I was about to say, if he doesn't hit us in the face there, that's crazy. Alright, this is where it's all got to turn around. Ooh, isn't that tempting? Yeah, it's tempting, but whatever.
Elements guide me.
If for nothing else, the psychological victory of having a clean board made it worse to go ahead and hammer that guy with the axe. Alright, 7. Wind Fury may come into play here. If we do that, maybe Mana Tide, maybe Argus and Mana Tide. Alright, we got a Starfire out of him. Oh, I think we do go
My
Defender of
shield
Argus,
for Argus.
Mana Tide. Draw some cards. Card draw. There we go. That's what we need. We need freezing and we need removal. We know that at least one turn he's going to have to direct his attacks here. Most of his attacks is possible he could do something here, but a spell he could do here, but anything physical he has to do with the Yeti. So we should have... Still has 3 mana. Hopefully doesn't have more than 4 health. Oh, it's okay. He's just kind of putting that out, I think, to do the kill shot, maybe. Oh, he's going to take that out. Kind of card draw down. That's smart. That's smart. It's very smart. Alright. We're going to save Doomhammer. 8. 5. Why not just go 5 and totem? 5. 4, give that, but there's nothing else to do. I think we just put this out.
You gotta be kidding me!
Toad him up.
To the breach!
Yeah, if we can keep Taun out there, that helps us not get the kill shot from the Worgen. I don't think he'll hit this with here. I don't think he'll trade with the Worgen. The nice thing about the Mercenary is if he wants to take it out with a Starfire, he's going to have to hit it with the Worgen first to get it in range. I don't think he has any 6 single target damage. We may go Doomhammer next turn just to start hitting me in the face, 4 damage each time. Everything else is going to be pretty pricey. We could give this Wind Fury though. I mean, that's 14 damage in 1 turn if he doesn't deal with it. He's taking it out with 3. Very smart. Oh, 2 tree ants in a... Wow. Wow. Why would you do that? Why on earth would you do that?
Time waits for no one.
That's only 6 damage. Seven fire axe. So if we do this, what would we axe? Just one of these.
Feel the power of the winds. Elements guide me.
How you doing? How you doing?
I think you could make an argument for taking out one of these Worgen and doing a little less damage to him. But, because we're living on the edge here. But, I don't know. I don't know that our cards long term I'm going to trust to be that much, that are going to be strong enough necessarily to trade the way we would have to trade to stay alive. So I think we go while we can. He's got to deal with this. 2, 3. He must have a way to deal with it because he knows that's game over if he doesn't, so he must have a way. Even if he armors up, that doesn't help him.
Where shall I strike?
That's good
Not ready.
for him, not for us. Alright, let's look at this. Nope, game over. We'll silence it, and then we'll hit him twice. Okay, I think this deck overperformed a little bit. I think that just like in the first 3 games where we won so dominantly, we won here in the last 2 games very dominantly, and I think it was because we got back to the point of we were getting really good card draw that answered things that the other person was putting down, and I suspect they were getting a little bit awkward card draw. So happens sometimes. This definitely was not a lock for 9 wins with this deck, or even super good odds. I think if you take the same deck and enter the arena, or if I did, it's probably not going to be more than 50% of the time that I get. So this is 115 gold. So we would expect at least 1 more gold. So now we're at 230. Very good, and this will be a pack of cards. We get the golden counter spell there. So what did we say this was? 115, 230 gold. Very nice. Very nice to keep our arenas cheap on the cheap. Curious to see. I know I've got a flare, I think, already. Curious to see if I already had a summoning portal. Yeah, looks like I did. Alright, so 2 cards, 3 cards that are new. Flare, second flare. Mage one was new. Golden counterspell, of course that's new. And then Totemic Might, second golden Totemic Might. And I must have gotten that earlier when we had the 9-win Shaman run earlier, so. Alright. Well, to recap, I think that was, it's strange. I've done 2 arenas today. One earlier on my laptop when I was out and about and went 9-1. And then this one, actually recording, getting the video done, we went 9-2. Both were with the Shaman. So, don't know what that means. I don't know if it maybe means more about my play style, my comfort with those cards, my comfort level with drafting. Maybe I'm getting a little better at drafting, or maybe it's just a little bit of luck on these 2 arena runs today. But listen, I always appreciate you watching. If you've stuck with me this long, this has been a long one, and I really appreciate it. Any comments, those are always so encouraging. Following or subscribing to the YouTube channel, I really appreciate that. And got set up in another room today. Moved, got a new desk, moved the computer. Kind of working on getting things set up for when I build a computer. I would like to start streaming a little bit. So just a little tease out there for something that I hope is coming down the road. Don't really have a timetable yet. But anyway, thanks as always.
Bye bye, Nods.